All right, so I did want to mention, we talked about the national four C's as being kind of widely accepted as four categories of skills that are important for every person in every job. But it's interesting to know that the Vermont Agency of Education has a list of proficiency-based graduation requirements for all Vermont high school students. They have proficiency-based graduation requirements for science, language arts, math, social studies, but also for transferable skills, what we're talking about right now. So theirs sound similar to the 4C, but they're a little different. So you'll be able to hear that. Clear and effective communication sounds familiar. Self-direction, that's not one of the four C's, but we do know that that's also really important. So life after high school, you need to be able to have good self-direction skills where you can initiate things on your own and figure them out on your own. Creative and practical problem solving, there's the C word there, creativity. Responsible and involved citizenship, that's not in the 4Cs at all. But when we just talked about volunteering and service learning, you can think of gaining a lot of skills in that area. And informed and integrative thinking, that's most related to critical thinking that we talked about, gathering and analyzing information and making judgments and figuring out what to do with it. So I'm going to show you an example of how Vermont educators help students with gaining proficiency in these skills by taking a look at where students are at with each skill. So this is an actual chart from the Agency of Education for one specific skill in that integrative thinking category, critical thinking. So this performance indicator is integrate information gathered from active speaking and listening. So if you are just beginning to gain this skill, you can gather information from discussions or other audio, visual, and in-person sources. Now, if you're going a little bit beyond beginning and you're actually developing that skill, you can use relevant information gathered from discussions or other audio, visual, and in-person sources. Now, if you're considered proficient at this skill, you can integrate information from discussions or other audio, visual, and in-person sources. So now you can gather it, you can use it, and you can begin to integrate it. And the fourth category here is actually expanding. So you're actually going beyond being proficient with the skill. And that is you can synthesize or connect information from multiple discussions or other audiovisual and in-person sources. So if you're proficient, it's just from one source. If you can synthesize it and you're expanding on that skill, it's from multiple sources. So this is just one example of many performance indicators for those transferable skills in Vermont. So if you want to know more about that, you could ask your teachers about that because this is something that's important in every Vermont high school.